It is another day in Isiolo County, and in this Samburu heartland overlooking the Kipsing Plains, normal activities go on. Stunningly beautiful beads are a hallmark of this pastoralist community who attach great value to livestock. From the young ones to women and even elders, beads are a part and parcel of their lifestyle. This love of the beads has greatly contributed in entrenching and perpetuating a culture that has stood the test of times, refusing to fade away and even under the influence of modern education. To a casual observer, the beads may hold no meaning besides being an element of beauty, but to the local community, the color of beads communicates certain messages. The culture of young girls being given beads by the community warriors called the Morans to become their temporary wives is rampant in Old Onyiro division of Isiolo County. The Morans target girls aged between 9 and 15 years who in most cases are distant relatives, and thereby ruling out the possibility of marrying her in case she gets pregnant. This form of engagement, aimed at solely giving the Moran sexual pleasures, is symbolized by black and white beads called in Samburu language nkeri. After placing the beads on the young girl, whose consent is never sought, the Moran follows this by bringing red color beads in large quantities, which are also put on the girl's neck as a sign of official commencement of an intimate relationship. The couple is allowed to have sexual intercourse, and to facilitate this, the girl's mother builds a hut called a singera where the warrior visits at night. Pregnancy is highly forbidden, though contraceptives are not used owing to their unavailability and cultural beliefs. In case the girl conceives, the pregnancy has to be terminated immediately despite the high risks involved.
Marani kuwapa wasichana shanga ambayo ina maana kubwa sana, sio tu ile shanga ya kuvaliwa, lakini shanga ambayo ina maana kwamba huyo Murani anakuwa kama mume wa huyo msichana, mume ambaye hawezi kumuoa, na jambo hili limeleta tatizo kubwa sana katika jamii hii ya Wasamburu.
Girl-child beading among the Samburu community has remained one of the worst silent contemporary forms of sex slavery. For years, young girls have had to bear with the consequences of this deep-rooted cultural practice, which was not discussed outside the community until recently. To get to the bottom of this practice, we traveled tens of miles into the interior villages, and it is here we encountered Nokutot Leruso, who witnessed cruel abortion being performed on a girl who was unlucky to conceive after being beaded.
Kore shiyo na dagam tunuro ne ranjang ditala ko ne sherata ne arega ngini ne sherata no la kama danye ne tai sekote inesho na ne ya ga uji le sekote bas ne shini na ma daga ke na lata yoso welo sekote na dal kutu age ke she ne guna ngwa danye ito mai danga jenya asho uji ne sherita ko le uji ke sho nesho dagam barnada ingiri nesho kenda nada ina dagam marale kai tonga na ko watala kineti ai tai uyo na ungo shega ronye tangai por bangai na dala kineti da chitengeje ai da chintutunyo na mara isingai ni kuni amara tongorio ngiteberi tonga ngoshe udongo na geteberi ne da shinage ne bas ne tai ndiro
As we continued with our journey, we met Nul Tulan, a victim of abortion who has lived with this trauma.
Karena wai darul merana na kenya na itura na kenya saya na itura nal na ima. Oh na darul. Na itura na saya na ima. Na mayu na chungu saya. Hai asakena. Hai asakena mo. Na na porta na mo. Na masih na ko na me ai ka wunda ka du mana ngat. Na mo gure na ruja na itura na tangkara ke naik ni miom na ta ingkari je na shofe tangkara ke na shung iya kenam tu karo ni juru isil dawa na.
The community justifies abortion because of the belief that children born out of this relationship are outcasts who bring bad omen to the family. Uncircumcised girls are children who are not supposed to give birth.
Katika mila na tamaduni zetu, watoto hao ambao wanazaliwa na wasichana ambao hawajaoleka huwa ni watoto ambao hawakubaliwi katika jamii. Kwa hivyo mara nyingi wale watoto wengi wanakufa katika hali ya kuwafinya wale wasichana walio wajawazito, na wengi wakizaliwa wakiwa na bahati ya kuzaliwa huwa wanatupwa.
However, not all girls who fall pregnant are forced to undergo abortion. But the newborns are killed, thrown to the forest to die on their own, or given out to members of the Turkana community. Margaret Lotaba from the Turkana community has adopted children considered outcasts.
Watoto nilichukua akiwa kidogo. Nilisikia mahali fulani iko, ninaambia msuue nipe. Mimi nalisha. Sasa hiyo watoto wamekuwa yangu. Kuna watoto wawili hapa. Moja imekuwa kubwa. Ndio hiyo watoto wake tena.
Gabriel Lote is also from the Turkana community and has lived in Oldonyiro for over 3 decades.
Hapo Oldonyiro nimeishi, nimekuja hapa 1973. Wakati huo nilikuwa na miaka 14. Na hapa ikakuwa na maneno ya kutupa watoto. Hapa sisi tukaona hiyo ni kitu ni mbaya sana. Sisi tukaanza kufanya kusema ya watoto usitupe na usipate tumbako, uniletee mkono yangu. Basi ile mama bado saldo nyingiro sinapatia mtu yetu. Mama nyingine aliyokueta hajiwezi tunampatia. Hiyo watoto akanifurahisha kwa sababu kweli ni binadamu na tunalisha kwa shida.
Though majority of the children are adopted by the Turkana community, one Samburu woman has defied the odds and adopted 2 children considered outcasts.
Watoto wangu wawili ile nimepata kwa shida, nimelelea kwa shida, sababu nimepata hata bila chochote. Msichana nimepata alikuwa amesaliwa usiku akatupa. Nimeenda kupata laka saa 2 ya mchana.
Elders are the custodians of culture, and though they are not involved in the beading process, they are aware of the happenings and know the origin of this cultural practice believed to have started sometime in 1780.
Kalau punya bangga mata na darah ceki, jauh sungguh desi, nari jauh sungguh. Nari nama tak kena, saya dah mana kumu. Basi ni pun dia berdoa pun ada menang, ya kata apa? Ni pun dia awal meran, awal bagian, dia tu meran atau mungkin, dia ni pun meran tu je.
What is the feeling of women whose daughters have been beaded or are likely to become victims in future? Majority of the Morans support this practice, though there are a few dissenting voices.
Mau tuan nak kau tu dah sempat, aja je sempat. amu na da mu ne on da karabal dan kai mujin kai mokosta duake meti mungkin to bani nyanu puru ni yang da karabal le ka toman
kore na antorno na ti diza sain pe ta shona no na kiti na kan torok na ti mugor inti to benjo sain yekin dimdaga baka ko kya kala rabal kitok ta toloko bilo na kai kata no bong tongan age ya badere na to ta na ke tare de wolo le mu tu sai barna le banga jugi ani mo badere lo le age lo yabel ta na ki tu mala rabal tini kore singa yari malino na ke buko pesho na ga mo tenara dal tongan wai de mai boy ko na dar matai ko ira mata ga bag me ata ni tu sai apa tu angga na ga indi misidu age ya ko kore da ga bag me ata ni tu sai bijeng agara matuna.
Those opposed to this practice believe that the hands of the elders, who are custodians of culture, are vital in stopping this tradition. Government officials and civic leaders are aware that beading is rife in this part of Isiolo County and have been in the forefront in fighting it, but with little success.
Wakati huu tuliona hii ni mila ambayo sasa imepitwa na wakati, kwa sababu tuko na serikali ambayo inaanza kutulinda, tuko na jeshi, tuko na nini, hakuna aggression kutoka nje. Kwa hivyo tunaona hii ni mila ambayo imepitwa na wakati.
Kulingana na sheria ya serikali, ile mambo ya elimu ni ya bure, na pia watoto wasima waingia shule. Masomo ni ya bure lakini ni ya lazima. Hata tumerescue watoto wengi, watoto wengi nimewakamata katika siku moja kama area na Ingura. Nilikamata watoto 10 safari moja wakiimba tu na warangi.
To win the war on beading, Swido believes there is need to involve all stakeholders to deliberate on this issue. Executive Director Jane Meriwas says imposing heavy penalties on offenders may not work, but engaging the community in discussing the merits and demerits of this practice will bear fruit.
Samburu girl child beading is a practice which is rampant in Isiolo, Samburu and Marsabit County. It's actually a practice which is found in Samburu community. It's a cultural that's hampering girl child and women rights issues, and also it's a practice that deny girl child education because the community which practice beading dictates that a girl is a source of wealth. She's not supposed to go to school. Beading practice has a lot of silent human rights violation, particularly to young girls and women, which is silently because the community are not ready to speak out against the vice, and they see that it's a culture which is deep-rooted, and it's a culture that people are not willing to talk about it. And what we are doing as an organization at the community level is we are trying to get homegrown solution, and that's why we are trying to incorporate all the stakeholders, including the community itself, the non-actors, the faith-based organization, and also the well-wisher and the allies of the community, so that we are able to push for the agendas of women and girls among the Samburu community, because the laws are there, but implementation is a challenge. And we think that when the law is there, we don't want really to use excess force. We want to have a solution from within.